TV, DJ can't bet he sitting here. Waterwave TV, man. Y'all see what the fuck going on? We turned up in this bitch. Shout out Waterwave TV. Waterwave TV. Waterwave up in this bitch. Man, shout out to Waterwave. We do this shit all the time, bro.
Waterwave in this bitch.
Yes, sir.
in this bitch. You know the fucking vibes, man. Waterwave, you know what it is.
Hey, big Waterwave. Big Waterwave.
Welcome to another Waterwave interview. We got Stophouse in the building today.
Hey, what's going down?
Yeah.
What's going down?
Want to introduce yourself real quick? Whoever wants to go first.
Dylan, you hit it.
I'm Dylan.
Hey, I'm Mike Campbell. I'm one of the co-founders of Stophouse with Dylan.
Nice.
Yep.
So what is like your full roles in Stophouse then? Besides being the owner and founder or whatever, like what do you guys do for Stophouse?
You go first on that one.
I'm the engineer slash producer, mostly the engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's been really integral in all the recording, all the mixing, all the mastering, and then I think he's been a big part of the creative process for a lot of the artists that we've worked with as well. Not only Prof, but some of the producers we've worked with and shit like that. So he kind of undersells it sometimes, but huge part of what we do. And then I mean, he definitely, Dylan has been working in this industry longer than Prof and I have. And he had connections that, predated us and all that sort of stuff and been working in the local hip hop community for a long time. So he brought in a lot of the early on business connections and like links with other artists we had and stuff like that. I'm the CEO, do the general management. I'm also Prof's day-to-day manager. Mm-hmm. We don't have Mac Irv as like a full-on artist under our management umbrella, but I definitely help him with a lot of his day-to-day kind of marketing stuff as well. Cool. So that's kind of like what my daily job is.
So is Prof kind of like the main artist under Stophouse? Is there, or the only artist? Is there other ones?
He's technically, I think, the
only right now.
One,
yeah,
the only one that's truly signed.
Truly fully signed. We definitely rep Mac Irv all day long.
Of course.
We helped market his last project, The Breakthrough, and we sell all of his physical product at our merch shop. So go make sure to get all your Mac Irv merchandise.
Yeah, seen someone wearing it today at the Twin Cities Pro-Am.
Okay,
was wearing it. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, so we do a lot with Mac Irv, but he's not technically signed with us with management right now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But like his current state of releasing music and his career is being kind of like overseen by your guys.
We more supportive, honestly. He's got a really solid team. He works day to day with a dude named Belly, who's super plugged in, really talented, really smart guy, and then he works a lot day to day with Wonka, who's his DJ, a producer, but also like a really talented business mind as well, who kind of helps out.
He generally doesn't record with us either. He's
pretty self-sufficient, man. Yeah. It's honestly just a little bit of marketing help here and there, and then when we can give him cool opportunities, we do our best to provide those for him.
That's awesome to have like that ability to do that with artists, because not everyone like needs to sign a full-on deal or maybe wants to ease into it or something too. Where I feel like that's like super generous of being able to be like, yeah, we'll help you with these pieces rather than like trying to tie someone into a full-on deal,
Sure.
Which I feel like some places might not offer that as much as local places would.
Work with a lot of. I mean, I work with with a lot of local dudes that aren't signed. Like a lot of pro bono work for like Dwinell Rowland and. Like Jordan Half Dozen. I don't know if you heard of him. I don't know.
He's super accomplished. I mean, we've just done a lot. Like Dylan has been doing a lot of basically free recording work for a shit ton of artists in this town for fucking 15 years at this point in time. And for me, it's been a little bit more in the last like 5-6 years, but I've been helping as much as I can. Yeah. If I see somebody who's really talented out there, if whether it's trying to get them on a Prof tour or just giving them ideas about how they could maybe do their rollouts and stuff like that. I try to provide, some help and shit like that.
Yeah. So you said you've been doing music he said that you've been doing music for almost like 15 years now. Yeah. When did you guys think about doing a group together, like to start Stophouse? I guess you could say, like, how long has it been around?
Well, it technically formed like on paper in 2008.
Okay.
And it wasn't just Dylan and Prof and I. We had a handful of folks that were working with us at that time. But it just kind of ended up where it was mainly Dylan, Prof, myself, and then St. Paul Slim, Roswell. I'm trying to there was a handful of other folks, Andrew Hunkel, a couple people that kind of made it through the first initial batch of doing
Cornelius.
tough shows. Cornelius for sure. But we ended up kind of just sticking with the three of us, more or less, 3 or 4 of us and stuff, and just really pushing Stophouse heavy over the last 12 years. It would be now 13 years.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't even remember the origin story really. I guess we worked on a different label together first.
We did have we worked for another label.
Okay.
It was called Interlock Records. Way back in the day.
And they had very talented artists on that label, but I think it just...
And we unofficially signed Prof to that label first. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
While you worked for them, you signed
we signed Prof.
That was like your guys'...
And we had 10 other groups on that label.
Yeah. There was a lot of talented folks and stuff. And they a lot of those people went on to do really cool stuff. But it's hilarious. We had a huge show. It was a huge show for us at that time at the Triple Rock. It was called Interlock Lives, which is hilarious because it ended up being the last show we ever did. Yeah.
But it sold out.
It sold out, and
everyone was really happy about it.
Yeah. It was kind of a cool little cherry on top of that whole experience. Honestly, a nice way to kind of end it. And then Dylan, Prof, myself, Slim. Cornelius. Forget who else was involved. There was a handful of other people that kind of transitioned from Interlock.
Everyone at that show thought they sold it out themselves. Let's be real. And
all the other artists.
It was our first really big show, and we never really broke this down. We're getting into some shit.
It's definitely interesting.
This was our first biggest
thing.
show, and everyone thought they were responsible for the sellout.
Instead of it being like, hey, we did this together.
Yeah, yep. Right away, people started separating. And so we were just like, shit, we're going to go this way. Who wants to come? And we offered it to a lot of people. We didn't try to slide out and, dip. We were just like, look, we're going to do this now. And if you guys are down, come on. And, everyone was like, no, you could just pay me for that last show. All right.
But yeah, so it ended up being Slim and Prof.
So we paid a couple people, and then the rest of the people came with us.
Yep.
Yeah. And then so ever since then, Prof's been around since the beginning as well.
Oh yeah,
that's something. Yeah, I didn't realize it's been that long. I figured he's been around for a while, but since what year was?
I think we were founded on paper technically in 2011, but we had worked as a collective for 3 years before that.
Yeah,
so 2008 is when we technically started.
2011, so almost 10 years now.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say his career is definitely in a great position.
Yeah.
For because he sells out every show that I've seen, or at least fills up a crowd. However you want to say it. When he goes on tour, I feel like that's probably his biggest time of his career. Right, or that's where he gets the most engagement. Probably makes the most revenue and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely shows have been a huge part of what we do. That was the biggest thing that drew me to Prof, honestly, when I first saw him. I'd heard a handful of his songs on MySpace or something like that, and I liked the songs, but then when I saw him perform live, it completely 100% sold.
Has he always, since you met in 2008, he's always been that guy on stage that did a little extra.
Yeah.
We
never would have found him with just his CDs.
That's how I feel that's how you really had to win it back in the day, though, because there wasn't as much social media where you could create a character online.
Yeah.
And now you really had to be that character in person and come out and be different, because not everyone, you couldn't just have photo shoots and video shoots that represent you. You have to represent yourself for real.
Yeah. No, that's very true. He's always been a showman, and he's always been a showman in that he can't. It's not just that he gives a good live performance. He performs his vocals well, and he actually performs his vocals and can do stuff from his record, and it sounds the same. But he always had a flair for doing something a little bit extra too, which I could really appreciate, and just really making it not just a concert, but a real entertainment experience and stuff. And that's something that I think that has really helped to kind of differentiate him, especially as he's gotten interesting tour opportunities and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't just go into a situation and go, okay, let's try to have a good set and see what happens. We were like, no, let's stack the fucking deck as best we can. Let's give them all the bells and whistles we can. Let's try to get as many of our fans in this crowd as we can, all that kind of stuff. So I think it definitely sold me on him, and it's been a huge part of how we've been able to gain audience for him and stuff like that. Yeah. And huge shout out to everybody who's taken him on tour through the years as well. So I mean, Murs and Grouch and Eli and a lot of the Rhymesayers acts through the years and stuff like that. So we definitely came up by getting in front of those audiences for sure.
Yeah, I'd say so. So you guys were kind of you've been around for a while, like you said. 2008, 2011 was kind of around when you started, and that's probably around that time like Rhymesayers was kind of starting to. I don't know exactly when they started, how long they've been around. Maybe before then, you might know.
They predate us by quite a bit.
Yeah. But like obviously you guys have been growing, and they've been growing.
They were like the big conglomerate when we were just coming up that everyone
was like kind of like
like
trying
they
to
kind of
shoot
had. Did they already have like a name for themselves?
For sure.
When you guys were first forming in 2008.
yeah.
For sure.
Like that's because
yeah.
I was born in 1999, class of 2017. So it's like that was a little bit before like I even kind of was dabbling into this type of stuff.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Atmosphere's been big since like 2002 or 2000.
I mean, like the realest I could put is Rhymesayers felt like they do to you guys now, like that. They felt like that to us back then. When we were starting,
the biggest
they were
thing
already
definitely
that big.
in town. Yeah,
like they would, anytime Atmosphere threw a show, it was sold out. And
yep.
Brother Ali or whatever.
That's fine. And then so you like eventually you guys got bigger. You established Stophouse, and you guys kind of started doing some work together. Because I mean, Prof was always on the sound set lineup, correct? Like, or at least multiple years. I don't know if he was always like.
He wasn't always on it. It definitely took a few years to be able to get the opportunity to get on Soundset. And then honestly, I think that it was a pretty reluctant signing. I don't think it took a long time. It took like 4 or 5 years of pitching to him and seeing him around town and them giving us tour opportunities and all that kind of stuff. And I think ultimately it was just like they had no choice, kind of.
Because he was making noise.
Because we were making noise and doing cool shit, and like we had recently sold out Prof Outdoors for the first time, which was a 4,000 capacity show at Caboose. Prof had toured the country and performed on Rock the Bells and crushed it, and a bunch of smokers festivals and just crushed it and stuff. And so he just had a ton of momentum at that time. And so I think honestly, like, I don't think they really had a choice at that point in time. I was like, okay, this makes financial sense for us, you know? Yeah. That would be my. Yeah. Does that seem accurate? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's dope. Well, yeah. At least like you won them that way, and you didn't have to like pay your way in or beg your way in as much, and they kind of like were just like, fuck it, let's do it.
I think if I can make any recommendation to small to independent artists and younger artists, if you're a real hustler and you're willing to really do anything to be successful, it would be to do like we did in those early days, but to keep going in that direction and be independent and be as self-sufficient as you possibly can be. Obviously build your own team, find a good manager who has your best interests at heart, all that type of stuff. But nowadays, man, you don't need
don't sign to any type of.
You don't need a record label. You don't need a record label.
If you want to go ahead and start one with your buddies, go for it.
Exactly. And you don't need like a publishing company necessarily either. Try to keep as much of that in-house as you can and make yourself a really lucrative small business. Because then if you do end up signing with somebody, you have at least some fucking leverage to go to the table with and stuff. And then if it's not a good offer, then you don't take it, you know? Yeah. So I would say that was like something I definitely learned through that experience is I would not sign a contract if you're an independent artist that has a good small business already in place. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I feel that heavily because that's kind of what we're building over here. Me and my friends just doing our own label and own marketing management team instead of trying to just build up our skills and go sign somewhere else.
Yeah, because if you go try to sign and you have no following, what are you really going to get out of it? You might get a couple points on a contract or whatever, but they can shelf you. They have full creative control. It's not nearly the position you'd be in as if you approach it like Chance the Rapper would if he was approaching a major, or I'm trying to think of good examples of people who really popped. Like probably when DaBaby, started getting courted by majors, I'm sure he had a shit ton of leverage.
Speaking of DaBaby, you're doing a show with him.
Yes, sir.
And Jack Harlow and Saweetie and Cleaver, right?
Yep. I think it's Clever.
Clever, not Cleaver. Oh yeah. Clever. How you're speaking of getting booked for shows, going on tours with people. That's definitely a good one for him to get on, especially with Jack Harlow, I feel like he could fit with his fan base a lot.
For sure.
How does like something like that, like how do you get like tapped in with like a show like that? You know what I mean?
Colorado is one of our biggest markets ever.
So
I think at this point in time, Denver may have
That's where it's
surpassed
at.
Minneapolis. Yeah.
because I know, yeah,
And we have a new partner out there.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
We have a new partner named
Shout
Adam.
out Stroll.
Adam
Yep.
Stroll.
Yep. He's a really talented talent buyer who's in the Denver market, and he's been really helping me build Prof's career over the last like six months to a year with Dylan and the rest of the team and stuff. And he's been bringing in some of those big opportunities like the Baby hookup, and he helped us get like the Devin the Dude feature and the Jaron Benton feature on a song Prof dropped in April called Chitty Bang, Smoker song. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. If you like weed. But yeah, and he's just helping us with a bunch of dope shit like that. But to the point of like what a team and like kind of what you need and stuff like that, I think to get booked on big shows, it helps to have people who are in positions like their talent buyers or their booking agents or their managers who've been in the industry for a long time and can get you on with their other acts and stuff like that. So yeah.
Was there any like turning point in your guys' like journey that was like that big move that you guys knew you made it? Like there was one day where, I don't know, maybe it was first time Prof performed at Soundset, or it was you just like selling a certain amount of records, or whatever it was. Like, was there one of those days?
I'm really curious to hear yours.
One that comes to mind was one Soundset when Busta Rhymes canceled. They turned to us and were like, "Yo, you guys got to cover for Busta Rhymes." And we were like right away, like we went and met together. And we're asking them for all, like, we need everything Busta Rhymes was getting. Like, we want $100,000. We were never gonna get it. We were already signed to him or whatever. So they knew we were just gonna be happy to be up there. But we had to like negotiate with them a little bit and like try to get some money out of the deal. And we didn't get anything near Busta Rhymes, but we got a little money. But they gave us his trailer, and it was filled with like champagne, just fucking bottles everywhere, and so we just started popping, going crazy, and so that felt good for a second. But yeah,
Is he like canceled last minute type of thing?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Prepared for him to go on.
He didn't.
They'd
show
already
up
filled his entire rider. His rider was probably more than our payment, so we were just popping crazy bottles. Yeah.
So we got to beat up Busta Rhymes' whole rider. That's when I felt like we made it.
Man, for me, it was definitely the second time, and I still think like I haven't really had that moment for real yet, because I'm still hustling to make a living and all that kind of shit. But for me, it was when we had pre-sold this record called Powderhorn Sweets Prof had done with Rhymesayers in, I think it was like April and May of 2020, I believe, right? 2020. And we ended up not putting the record out through Rhymesayers. We ended up putting it out through Stophouse. And even though we had already sold it to like thousands of our diehard fans and that kind of shit, we ended up selling it again. And on the first day that we dropped it, we sold more pre-sale than we had in the entire pre-sale before, period. And I was like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah, that was way more important than the Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Not only did we like, we're going to be able to keep the lights on and shit, but we did better than the first time we sold the same. It's the same product. It's literally the same exact record to the same exact audience, and more people bought it the second time. And I think shout out to everybody who's ever supported us, anyone who's ever bought a CD, a ticket, streamed a song, even just told a friend about Prof or Stophouse or Slim or Mac Irv or Cashinova, because that shit really, really makes a difference. And we're not some big ass label with Ferraris and shit like that. We're like working class people, and each one of those interactions like means the world to us and shit. So that was huge for me, seeing that shit come through. That was a game changer for me, and it ended up being number 3 on the rap current rap album charts on Billboard and shit, which is Prof's biggest, like, highest placement by far.
That's fine. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
I didn't know it went that far with it.
I think it's got to be one of the top,
handful I see it a lot of places for sure.
Yeah.
The marketing on it was really nice. I mean, just you guys, every video and photo shoots you guys do with Prof is like perfect. Like, it makes his image just look so right. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like a goofy guy, like, and then he makes, like, I'd say, like, he's a very talented rapper, but he like appeals to like more of like a fun audience, like people that want to like joke around and have fun. But he can also like he's also really talented at the same time. And I think like all of his videos, I forget which one it is, but it's, let me see.
Man, that's really quick. I got to get a shout out to like all of our directors and all of our photographers that we worked with. Colton Oddie, Wes Eisenhower.
What's this song called?
Oh, that's Squaggles.
Yeah,
Thomas Axamit.
What's the
director on that one?
No, is the character he's supposed to?
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like that one. That like just like the level of detail and taking the time.
We built that entire set.
Hell yeah,
Mr. Rogers set inside of a public television station.
Yeah. Big love to MTN television over in Northeast Minneapolis.
I think I went there like when I first started Waterwave because we lived right down the street from there.
I think they have podcasting setups and stuff like that.
They kind of like, I was like, dang, we should use this or whatever. But they make you like take classes or whatever if you want to use their equipment at least. Yeah. And then like I just like never ended up doing it. But then it kind of like made me feel like, okay, like I could like I want to just do it myself. So then I ended up just doing it in house at our house. But I definitely should have used it because I still could because it's like real studios in there. Yeah. No, it was a great space. But no, we're super lucky to work with like really really dope creatives, and Prof is he comes up with a lot of that shit on his own, man. It's pretty impressive how creative of a dude that is, and but he also has a really good team. I mean, he'll always be throwing ideas off of Dylan, myself, Cody, the rest of our squad. We try to put the cherries on top where we can, you know.
Thomas
crushes it. Yeah, I definitely got to give credit to Thomas. He's a huge part of the creative.
He's done like what % of our last?
He's done I think most everything for Powderhorn Sweets. Serial Films has helped us out with a couple pieces that are just beautiful. Like we're working with those guys on a new record for Prof called Payday, and it features John Ray. We're shooting a video for that in early August. I'm really excited to drop that record and shit. So dope. Yeah.
Another thing that I think it might have been the last time I seen you was at the Versus battle with Mac Irv. So another artist that you talked about was Mac Irv. When exactly did, I guess before we just get into the Versus battle, when did you start working with Mac Irv exactly? Do you remember, maybe not the exact date, but what release was it? Was it the album?
We've loosely worked with him for
a long time. Yeah. Like 6-7 years at least. Yeah. I think both Prof and I and Dylan all kind of like saw him around town at the same time in terms of like hearing his music online and stuff. I can't remember who kind of reached out to him first, but we started doing shows with him, I think, right?
Also because Wonka is a huge deal.
Duh. Dude, that's definitely
he shares
the main
DJs with Prof.
Yeah. Wonka's a great guy, too.
Yeah. Okay, so that's definitely how we initially got connected and how we got on our radars, because Wonka was producing for Prof. He was also producing and DJing, I believe, for Mac at that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I think we started with shows, and then we eventually put out just like a little tester single, kind of to your points of like just finding what works and fits in terms of a artist-manager relationship or like an artist-record-label relationship. Mm-hmm. With Mac, it's always been really cool because we both want to see each other win, but we don't have to commit to necessarily like it has to look exactly like this thing. If we're in a position to be able to help him, we'll do that. If he's in a position to be able to work with us and make something cool, he seems like he's on board to do that. So the first thing we did was a song called Graduation, and it was solid, good, received really well, all that kind of stuff. He ended up doing his next couple songs more or less on his own, and then we started working with him again heavy like 3-4 years ago. Started taking him on more tours. Prof did a feature for him on his last record, and then we approached him I think like 18 months ago to 2 years ago, and we're like, man, why don't we just kind of like maybe help you start doing some of the marketing stuff, if nothing else, giving you some more advice or connections where we can.
That's dope. It's definitely helped. I say it's definitely helped, at least on like the promotion side and just getting his name out there and just having extra stuff, like maybe just merch and being pushed more and CDs being sold more and and not only just like an extra hand of just sending stuff around to people, but besides the album, and then Payday is coming up. Another thing that recently has been going out with Mac Irv was the Versus battle with Jay Plaza, and I think that shit was pretty dope. Trap Right put that on and stuff like that. How did you take that in, the cipher, like being there? How do you like it?
I thought it was a cool event. It was weird because it was my first event during for like after COVID, I guess,
Yeah.
technically. And so I was kind of like weirded out by that whole
Yeah, like just
situation.
being in public with a bunch of people. And stuff.
Yeah. But I thought Trap Right did a really great job of producing an interesting event, not only for the at-home audience, but also for everybody who was at the show.
Yeah, the live streaming it was still pretty good. They had a lot of viewers on that watching that.
Yeah. Did you get to catch that at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I dug it. They
Any
were
thoughts?
both
Yeah.
good sports.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, Trap Right's killing it. I don't know those folks directly, but the ciphers were dope, and all the versus battles have been cold.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I was gonna ask about the cipher. Did you think that like it kind of like helped, it like represented like Minnesota pretty well? Do you think like there could have been a few other people that could be in it? Or, I mean, they probably do another one at some point. But
yeah,
like if you were to pick like a group of artists to throw in a cipher, like who would you throw in one if it's not some of the people that are in that one too?
You go first.
Because I know you guys know a lot of different names than I do as well. Then I probably know like some younger cats than you. So it's like,
you probably know way more younger cats. I think.
Yeah, but you probably know ones. You probably
Yeah.
know a lot of names that I don't know that a lot of people know out here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
yeah.
too. So it's like
I
kind of
don't know,
like you think like.
I mean, a couple of my favorites were definitely in there.
Maybe what Muja? Maybe.
Sure. I mean, or his son.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good point.
Those dudes, man, they're dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
There's not too many names that stick out. That
I mean, yeah.
I'm definitely not as up on the younger cats as I should be. But
I'd say if someone
Yeah.
were to do a cipher for like Minneapolis or Minnesota right now, you should do a little bit more of the ones that have been around for a while, rather than the guy that started rapping a year and a half ago or maybe even 2 years ago.
I would love to see something that mixed some of the younger kids.
I think a mix would be good.
Yeah.
Or to do a next one with the younger kids. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do one, and I just didn't know the exact way to do it, I guess, like to make it right and to make the audio and visual just look right.
What if
You know,
like-
once clubs are open for like a couple months here and we can really see who's like moving a crowd, I feel like it's going to be a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
That's a super
To
good
make
point.
some
Yeah,
new
because
judgments.
that's like who actually has people coming.
It's
to their
been like,
shows.
I mean, it's been a couple years now when, you know, they're just had more than a year.
Yeah.
I think
there hasn't been a show.
Cashinova definitely could have been in that cipher. Nimic wasn't in that.
She wasn't in the girl one.
No. I think Nimic could have been in there.
And you got to wonder if maybe, I mean, you'd assume most of them would say yes, but I don't know if anyone would say no, but I'd assume anyone
You
would
never
say
know.
no.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think who else. Fucking there's just so many cold artists right now. I'd love to see with the older heads, newer heads kind of thing, like maybe getting like Muja, maybe Big Wiz and Tech or something like that with like 3 younger cats or something.
Yeah, like mix in and just see exactly how it would go.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea to get an older one, or maybe just do another one full young and then do a group one or something.
Yeah, yep. That'd be
Yeah.
fun to
I don't know if
watch.
there's
I would definitely watch that.
I don't think there's too many names that I can like think of either. That I'd say maybe like Nerdy would have been a cool one to throw in there.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting to see how he would vibe.
Yeah, like if it was that type of, if they used the Drake beat. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
He tried.
I'm sure he could pull it off, man. He's a talented cat.
Yeah, he could do. I feel like he could go on any beat.
Yeah.
Honestly, like he probably, that's just Nerdy. I think he's one of the cats out here that could like blow up overnight or whatever you could say too. Like it takes just the right person to.
I agree.
To repost him
for sure
to make a song with him. Just that someone that has some type of pull.
It's not a matter of like if, it's definitely a when kind of thing. I think just like you're saying, just that right song
he's
or
like
right
the
mix.
biggest. He's like like I see him like everywhere, just doing stuff and like on a random weekday and in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? Like performing at some city park, or he's on a commercial for something, or I don't even know. Like he has a billboard. Like you know what I mean? Like he just random.
No, you're
stuff.
right. His trajectory was crazy right before COVID hit. It sucks that he had to like just take that full year off. Cause, he was going crazy.
He's another guy that goes crazy for shows.
Yeah.
Especially when he brings his whole band out and all that stuff.
Yeah. I've only seen him, I think, twice. It was like opening for Greaves, and I forget the other show, but it's not necessarily stuff I'd like roll around, rocking my car and shit like that, but I love seeing it live.
Yeah, and I'd say there's definitely a few songs of his that I like, but a lot of it is like it's super talented, but it's not like as much like hip hop and rap as it is like pop and singing and just being
and just
an
stage
entertainer.
presence.
Being an entertainer. Like he's a great entertainer, and that's where I think he can make it, because
For sure.
he doesn't. Yeah, it just takes that right person to work with them. I think just that one or that one retweet on Twitter, or that one screen recording and repost on Instagram.
He'll make some crazy ass video that just captures, the internet's imagination, and it'll go crazy and shit. I'm sure. Yeah. He's a dude who shouldn't sign with anybody.
Yeah.
He should definitely just keep doing small business, independent artist stuff for sure. Yeah. Unless somebody came and was like, "Here's a fat old check, and you get to keep a bunch of your shit."
It's really your value.
Yeah.
Because he has it. It just needs whoever is just gonna give him the audience, really.
Well, and what's wild nowadays is like you don't have to break ever really in a traditional sense. If you have a couple thousand people that really fuck with you, that's a business for sure.
I'd say he definitely gets the pull in Minnesota, and he went on tour with Brother Ali, and that really raised him up. That was, I think, his turning point so far. Yeah, that's correct. But what's kind of like in the plans for Prof coming up soon? Then I guess, since he's like your main artist. I know I didn't Payday with Mac Irv, but
no, Payday is a song that Prof has with John Ray.
I mean, Payday's a. Wait,
that's a Prof song with John
Money
Ray.
On My Mind.
Money on My Mind.
That's Mac Irv.
I'm thinking Payday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Money on My Mind drops this Friday.
Yeah.
And that's the last video piece from Mac Irv's The Breakthrough Project, which he dropped in January. If you guys haven't streamed it or bought it, go check that shit out. It's seriously
Prof and John Ray. I was thinking. I thought it was Prof. That'd be. I'm excited to hear that one.
Yeah. No, but that the Breakthrough record was incredible and stuff. But yeah, Mac's got that video dropping this Friday, and then he also has a show at the Entry on August 13th. It's selling super fast. I think we're down to like less than like 60 tickets or something like that. Nice. So if you want to get your tickets, get them right now, because they'll be sold out by night of show.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to that one.
Dope.
Yeah, the lineup. Yeah, the lineup's nice on that one too. Tay Supreme, John Ray, Mac Turner.
You want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff you got going on with P? You guys been in the studio
Yeah, so
he's been in the studio like crazy.
The guy that knows the most about what's coming. How's it going?
Well, Prof has been doing a lot of stuff in his studio recently, but they've still been working a lot on the music side of stuff and getting the mixes right and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so over like the last year, Prof started making crazy beats. So he's producing all his own music now. All of the songs, like how many of the last songs that came out did he produce? Do you know?
Chitty Bang and Tarzan were both produced by Prof, and then we have a song dropping on July 30th. That's a new Prof song that'll be produced by Prof.
Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, we'll say it. It's we're dropping a song on July 30th called Dodo Birds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How do these the motivation or the name or behind the names of these songs, is that all Prof? He has he's full.
Dodo Birds was the hardest song to name.
And it usually is it's usually so obvious.
It's something that has to go. It's probably that's in the song, but I guess I don't know. I guess you come up with the name of the song.
You base it 50% off like how easy it is to find on Apple Music or Spotify, and 50% on like what Prof really wants the message of the song to be.
Yeah, because he's definitely has some interesting songs. For
and
sure.
So this song, I guess I don't want to say too much, but he doesn't say anything the entire chorus. I'm pretty sure there's no actual words. I think, so it's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. You don't need to leak too much.
And so we had a really hard time coming up with a name because there was no words in the chorus, and I don't know if he said the same word twice at any other. Verse.
So most songs it's really, really obvious, but this song, for whatever reason, there's like random songs where you're just like, I can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes you end up on something where you're like, I don't even like it. Yeah. But it's part of the deal.
We have a couple huge guest verses coming
with Prof. Yeah, Prof's working on some really dope guest features for his next record.
Our biggest ones yet. We could say that, right?
What's that?
Probably our biggest ones yet.
Yeah, definitely our biggest features yet, for sure.
Names that most people would know,
like household names,
everybody.
For sure. Yeah.
I figured it's only a matter of time too with him.
Man, and a huge shout out again to like our new management partners who have been helping us make those connections and stuff. Because to be honest, like I'm more of a nuts and bolts like day-to-day type of dude. I'm the dude who's gonna roll up my sleeve and help you get a really dope music video and help you budget your checkbook and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't grow up in the industry. I don't know fancy promoters and managers and that kind of shit. So this partner that we've been working with out of Denver has been just crushing it, and one of the links he's been bringing us is just these huge features and shit. So hopefully we'll have at least 2 or 3 big features on the next record that drops. We'll get an exact date out there in the next couple, like probably next like 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. We'll be talking about what Prof has coming up, and then man, we got a shit ton of touring on deck for all through the winter. It's all these really great markets for Prof. It's places where like we're doing like a handful, like a half dozen tester shows this summer. All of them are selling way better than any shows we've ever done in those markets previously and stuff. And so I'm just so excited to get back out there, because I think he's gonna have one of those tours where we get to stamp that sold out. Yeah.
Because aren't some of them already sold out?
We sold out.
One is
Fort Collins. Yeah. Yep.
And Rochester's already record number for us.
For that market, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's doing better than like our Prof Outdoors usually do this far out.
So there might be more people at this Rochester show than our festival show that we throw.
Yeah.
Local.
So shout out to all the Gampos and everybody who's coming out to that show. You guys are making this almost as big of a party as a goddamn. I mean, it'll be a bigger party than a Prof Outdoors. So yeah, it's gonna be wild.
What's tour life like with Prof?
Man,
when you go on like a tour like you're about to go on, or ones that are more are they like back to back 10 weekends or nights? Or?
No, these ones are pretty sporadic, so it's not really like tour. It's more like just going on like mini weekend runs.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. So yeah. What I guess
it used to be crazy, but he's pretty responsible dude these days.
Yeah. So have you gone on like a tour where it's like state to state, back to back nights, maybe one night in between? Have you gone on like those types of tours, like with other artists, like when you?
Oh, with other artists,
or even just with Prof, I guess.
Yeah. I think we both done a fair amount of that.
So you've been on like that real tour feel, like
man,
like how is that
real deal tour shit? So I've done I supported our tour manager on a handful of tours. I tour managed a handful of tours, which like the first one I ever did was a van tour where it was Prof, myself, and our road DJ at the time. And we were following a bus tour. And so they were doing like overnight drives where it'd be like 10-hour drive one day, 12-hour drive the next day, et cetera, et cetera. And I was also running merch for every support act on the tour. So I would drive 10, 12 hours overnight myself, get to a market, sleep for maybe 30 minutes, fucking vend merch for 10 hours, maybe sleep for an hour, then fucking hit the road again. And the off days I would just sleep the entire fucking time. And man, it was intense and really shitty. But nowadays it's a little bit better, because we get to like kind of dictate some of our own stuff. We get our own hotel rooms. On that run, we didn't even have hotel rooms. So
shout out to Mike for that. I never actually did that. I used to fly in for the weekends and then fly back out.
Shout out to anybody who does that shit, because it's like if you do van tours, you're a fucking road dog.
Yeah, we're trying to go on tour. Because that's just something we want to start going to different markets and just getting in different cities and traveling and just performing. Like I want to go on tour either with somebody, like, and then just like someone that's a little bit bigger than us, and go state to state and city to city, whatever, or try to connect with people in each of those cities that are like on around our level or a little bit more popular, and then either like see what their booking price is, or if they want to just like go 50-50 on book, either we'll book it and split the ticket sales, whatever they want to do. Like I kind of want to like try to one or the other. So either way, that's
definitely how. I I mean, that's how a lot of people came up in this market. Yeah, it's just like show shares.
Go on tour, and then
that's how we did
guest in each city, basically. That's like doing it with you, and they bring maybe a couple supporting acts, and we bring our 3-4 acts, and have a whole lineup of.
I don't know if you remember Mac Lethal, but we used to. Do you know who Mac Lethal is?
I don't think so.
He's a Kansas City artist, super talented dude.
He used to be with Rhymesayers way back before us, and then started his own label, and we did that exact same thing you're talking about with him. Like we would trade shows off in like our little local markets, and he'd take us down there.
That'd be cool.
Same with we had a couple acts throughout the Midwest that we had, like a Fargo act, a Sioux Falls act, Duluth homie, that kind of thing. Exactly what you're saying. Just building it over time. It wasn't as easy to build back then though, because like I think once MySpace came out, then it was a little bit easier, because you had ways to like find people in other cities other than your own that were in a weird, like they were doing something but not so big that they were like signed by a major label and wouldn't fuck with you. So there was like the internet makes all this shit way easier nowadays. So do all your networking before you even leave town, and you can make sure you're going to show up at a good show.
I say Prof does a pretty good job at it too. Makes your job a little bit easier of doing like the cooking or in the kitchen with Prof or whatever goes.
Yeah.
Is
Prof,
he actually that good of a chef? Prof's kitchen?
He is, yeah. He eats
great-
really healthy too.
he's a
You'd be
good-
surprised.
He's a fucking fabulous chef, man. He'll make a great steak. He knows how to make all sorts of good fish and stuff like that. Yeah, he's man. He's, to be honest, he's a little bit annoyingly good at like almost everything. Like, I think other than like spreadsheets and like super academic mathematical things, he, like, any game of skill, you know, if you're like playing darts or some weird, you know, fucking horseshoes or something, you'll be like, why are you so good at this all of a sudden? Like,
He
what
did
the fuck?
kick my ass in ping pong last time. we were
Dude, I'm saying every game like that, you're just like, why are you so good at this shit, man? But yeah, he's an interesting cat.
So what do you guys do like outside of Stophouse? Like when you kind of have like a weekend to off, or when you have a week off of doing something, like what do you kind of go to have fun outside of work?
You go first, Mike. Let me think about this.
Because I kind of even struggle to think about what I do, because like work kind of is like fun a lot of times. So it's I don't really feel like I need to take as many breaks when you're having fun. But it's like there is definitely times where it's like you take a break, you're like, damn, like there's actually like
I needed that.
there's fun to like this world.
Yeah,
you just go have fun sometimes.
I like to do a lot of like classic Minnesota dad shit. I have like buddies who are up north dudes, and like I'm the city slicker of the bunch, but I'll go like ice fishing with them, and we go up north a lot, cabin. I like to, I don't know. I vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
In my spare time.
Get away from like a guy that likes to like get away from the technology, put the phone down. Because I know like there's either one way where you like to go out and just get away from the technology, or it's like now I can indulge in the technology now that I'm, I feel like we kind of.
I was in Vegas last week, but then I was at a cabin right afterwards. So
so best of both.
It's a trade-off.
I think Dylan does a pretty good job of traveling, and he's got a really cool family and stuff, and they get out on a bunch of family trips and stuff. Yeah. Man, I travel a little bit, but honestly, I would say get more work-life balance, because in 10 years you'll find yourself being like, I forgot how to have hobbies and shit like that. And that's kind of where I find myself at, is I'm trying to like start to have better boundaries with work so that I can go camping more frequently, or like re-embrace some of my old hobbies a little bit more. But so, and also I feel like you have to consume culture and, movies and TV and all that kind of stuff to understand what's happening within like what people want. And
because you kind of have to be a part of what's going on.
Exactly.
To be able to market to the world.
Yeah. And I feel like there was like a good 5-year stretch where I was just so nose down in what we were doing that I was not paying attention to. Like, I mean, I still haven't seen a movie in 3 years or something like that,
Gone to see a movie, or just like watched one?
Well, I mean, I've probably like seen maybe like,
like actually gone out.
I've maybe seen a half dozen movies in the last year or something like that, or 2 years.
I'm not a big.
Wait, gone out or seen a half dozen movies?
Seen.
God damn.
I'm a big YouTube guy. I watch a lot of YouTubers. Like whenever I sit down to watch something, it's always like YouTube, unless it's like
that's crazy, man. That's crazy to me. That you told me this right now. That's what my daughters do, and I still don't understand it. Like,
you just find some that work, because it's more organic, I guess. And there's just almost anything you can imagine that might appeal to what you want.
Yeah. What do you watch? I mean, like, is it like
a lot of like
mostly podcasts?
I usually indulge in my podcast when I'm driving.
Okay.
So I don't watch too many podcasts, because that's kind of like I usually save it for when I'm in the car.
Okay.
But what I watch on YouTube is a lot of like, I don't even like, just people that just be like fucking around in public and just be doing funny shit, like social experiments type stuff.
Okay.
Like Nelk and Ross Creations and Balin Levine and Danny Duncan. I don't know if any of those names ring a bell.
I think I've heard
it's like
Nelk maybe.
Nelk is the most popular one for sure. They have like the
yeah.
Full Send brand.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever heard anyone say Full Send.
Yep.
And then they just dropped a seltzer called Happy Dad, around low alcohol. But that's main stuff that it takes up. And then like sneaker videos, like I don't even know, sneaker news videos, because of the store is kind of like taking over my life a little bit. I watch I'm really big into gaming, like the gaming community. Like that's a business venture that Waterwave is going to be stepping into soon, is having like streamers and gamers and people that play competitively in tournaments and stuff like that represent Waterwave pretty soon.
Dope.
So I watch like vlogs of like my favorite teams and people that have like inspired me to do this. Like I watch like Hex. I don't know if you know Hector Rodriguez.
I actually I met Hex down at the I went to the Counter-Strike Major Championship.
Really?
4 years ago, in like 2016. The Prof's booking agent helped me get like VIP access and all that shit. And shout out to the homie Sarah Dope. She knows Hex, and so I was like caking my pants, and we got to link up for a little bit. And Hex has played Prof's music in a handful of his videos on his YouTube channel and stuff. And so I knew he was familiar with Prof and like the music and stuff. And Yeah, he was a super dope dude. So yeah, super familiar with Hex.
Yeah.
Loved the gaming space.
Yeah, I watch his vlogs like every time he uploads one. I met him at when Minnesota has a Call of Duty team.
Yeah.
When the CDL came here for their first tournament ever, it was opening weekend. It was at the Armory, and we got a media pass for it, so we got to go. We got to do all the press conferences after. So I got to like personally interview Hex at there, and I got to meet him there.
He's a really like personable, cool dude.
Yeah, super. Yeah, and he was like one of the main reasons why like I became a bit like an entrepreneur, you could say. It was like Hex, and then like Adam 22 at No Jumper.
Yep.
And like Cole Bennett, like with Lyrical Lemonade, and then like Gary V. I watch a lot of Gary V videos.
Okay.
I used to watch more than I do now, but those are all like people that kind of like
inspire
I guess
you and
like wired my brain to make water wave, I guess.
You guys are killing it. I love how much different stuff you guys have going on in this building.
Now we're starting to work with athletes. I've always wanted to work with athletes, but I never knew the best way to do it, because I was always like doing videos for artists and stuff, but we live right on campus on a Division I school, and like I know a lot of athletes, but I just know that you can't just like go to practice and bring a camera, because I used to play D3 football in River Falls, Wisconsin. That's like where I met everybody and started Waterwave, and like you could just like, practice wasn't like enclosed off, no cameras, because it was just smaller football. I know, like I feel like it'd be a little bit harder to just be like, oh, let me just walk into practice and record everything.
Yeah.
But now with this like new rule where athletes can make money off of their likeness outside of the sport, like brand deals and whatever else, however else they want to make money, it kind of opened up an alley for us to be like hop in and be like, hey, become a Waterwave athlete, and like we can help facilitate brands to want to work with you and get you media coverage and put you in our clothes and all this type of stuff. So that's like our next adventure that's happening right now. We just announced our first one today, and we have like 4 more to announce. Like every day we're announcing a new one.
Who's the athlete?
Jordan Horn.
Dope.
And then
I'm not familiar. He
played in Tartan High School. He graduated in 2017, and he went to NDSU and played for a while, and now he's at the school in Texas. It's a Division II school, and that's where he's playing at now.
Okay.
And then we got 2 other guys. His name is Lay. He's from Florida. He's a freshman at the U of M for basketball. And then Trayton Thompson is another freshman at the U of M for basketball. And then Parker Fox is a U of M basketball player. And then Isaiah, this other guy Isaiah that plays for the U of M. They're all about to like become a Waterwave athlete and represent us and wear our clothes. And then this one other guy named Zay Watts that plays for Duluth at the UMD. So that's kind of our current. That's who's coming that we're announcing right now. But I'm supposed to meet with a lot more athletes coming, because I want to have like every sport covered, multiple cities of just people representing us and being able to like appeal to a brand and be like, hey, I got a bunch of athletes. Let me like, I can get your brand to all 15 of these people right here for this rate, and it's more appealing than just having one.
So I got a question for you.
Facilitate that.
Like, where are you profiting the most out of all these ventures?
Like you mean like from every angle of Waterwave?
The store and studio.
Definitely the store.
Yeah.
Selling shoe, like, so how we do our shoes in our store, Waterwave doesn't own every shoe, right? We all personally use our own money to buy shoes and sell the shoes in the store. So that's how we make money. Like, instead of paying ourselves an hourly wage, we're just like, we're basically consigners to the store, but we just keep all the money we make in here instead of giving the store a percentage. But how Waterwave makes money, I'd say, is off merch. Like, our merch is really what pays the bills, and then the studio obviously is something that's just, you're not really giving away something to make the money besides the service. Vintage is really big though too. It's surprising how many people wear vintage out here. I mean, it's surprising if you weren't in like the community, I guess, but it's like crazy. Like everybody's wearing vintage now, or at least something that's like a thrifted shirt rather than.
I have like teenage daughters and nieces, so yeah.
They're into the vintage. Yeah. It's like a super popular thing right now, and there wasn't a store within walking distance of Dinkytown that had vintage and shoes, so we were like, let's do that, and that's definitely Waterwave's #1 revenue. After that, it's probably doing shows, and then YouTube channel, and then now it'll be.
Yeah, you guys have a couple big videos on the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. A lot of our biggest videos were the concert recaps, like when Kid Roy came here, Lil TJ, or Young Gravy, 3-6 Mafia. Those are like our big ones that we're doing, like a few 100,000, 100,000, 50,000, that type of stuff. And then some podcasts do pretty well, but most of the money we make on YouTube that does the best is when we go live and we listen to people's music. Like they donate, like I think now we do like $5 to play your song, and we react to it on our live stream. Okay. And but some people will donate like 20 and just be like, whatever, or donate 25 for 5 songs, and we just do 5 in a row for them or something.
Okay.
So like there's some nights we'll bring in like $80, some nights we'll bring in like $250, like just for sitting here for like 2.5 hours. And but like there's people that do that charge like $100 for you to listen to it.
I think somebody's been paying to like get Prof's videos on No Jumper recently because we haven't been doing it, but occasionally it'll pop up when he's doing those reviews like that. Yeah.
Maybe.
But I mean, like to your point, it's a couple $100 or something, I think, or like $100 or whatever it is.
We've done a No Jump. That's a crazy long story of how I ended up meeting Adam 22. Is originally we sent a video into him when we were like in college still. So it was like 3 years ago now, and I had red beads in my hair. Like I had my hair braided with red beads in it, kind of like how Lil Yachty would do his shit.
Yeah.
And then we ended up shooting a music video that same week I did it, coincidentally. And then whatever, we shot the music video and sent it into him, and then he was like making fun of. He wasn't even like paying attention to the song. He was just making fun of me for like 10 minutes, like just roasting me, right? And then that was like kind of like, all right, well, like that's crazy because like I did the hair thing to kind of like just get attention for like Water Wave or whatever, just to like do some kind of
just get on the map,
just do something different. And I was like, fuck it, like it looks, why not? I'm gonna just try it out. And then he ended up seeing the video and reacting to it like probably everything we could have hoped for. And then fast forward like a year later, he came to Minneapolis for a kendama contest, like the national tournament or whatever, because he's really into kendama. And I go up to him, like he was gonna be here for the whole weekend, so we planned on like going there to meet him because we knew it was gonna be super packed in there. We go up to him, I was like, hey, whatever. I said, I'm Eric from Water Wave. I do a company similar to yours, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, super cool. You're not really paying me time. I was like, you remember that guy that had the red beads when you reacted to him like a while ago? And he looked back and he's like, yeah. I was like, that's me. He's like, really? That's you? So I used that as like some type of connection, some type of any connection that he could have with me. And then like he was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we didn't ask him for an interview Friday. Saturday we didn't go because we were busy. And then Sunday we met back up with him and asked him to do the interview. And eventually we ended up doing it. And it was pretty cool. Just like a little 4-minute like outside of the venue type of thing.
Dope.
And then he's kind of been like looking out for us since then a couple times, like shouted us out on his podcast and stuff like that. And like some people will like wear our merch that send their music videos in to get reacted by No Jumper. And they'll be like, he'll notice it in the videos and like say something about it, and they'll like screen record and send it to me or something. I'll be like, damn, it's pretty cool. So
that's awesome.
That's one connection I'm hoping to make soon, is doing some work with No Jumper at some point.
Who is Mr. Organic was just on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you watch that episode yet?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna definitely catch up with it. Yeah.
It's super good.
He's making crazy waves, man. Yeah.
I did an interview with Mr. Organic like a year and a half, 2 years ago now, I think. Right when he hit 100,000 subscribers, like right at that time.
Okay. Pretty wild stories and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't know too much about him when I interviewed him, but like it was just like good opportunity, like, and he was like, we seen him a couple times, introduced myself, so it's like it's kind of like bang bang bang. And then like sometimes when you know somebody and you're like, hey, you want to do an interview, and they're like, yeah, you never know, maybe the next time you're gonna see him. So then we plan it for like the next few days. He gives me a number, blah blah blah. But I wish I did do a little more research on him, so I could have asked him more crazy stuff, because he definitely still had a crazy rise to fame, having 100,000 subscribers, doing what he had done.
Yeah.
But yeah, No Jumper one was he told a lot of cool stories.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out for sure. Yeah.
He's someone. There's not too many YouTubers in Minneapolis that make noise.
Man, I haven't like heard of too many other than him. I don't know. Do you know of any other like people who are really making waves?
I'm pretty sure Tall Guy Car Reviews was from Minneapolis too.
I think he was originally.
But he's been in LA for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, TikTokers are really big. There's a lot of big TikTokers.
I don't know anything about fucking TikTok, man. Yeah.
I feel like, does Prof use TikTok at all?
Nah, I
feel like his content would do well on TikTok.
We have a bunch of songs on there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure that probably like, I don't know. I don't use TikTok too much myself, but I feel like one of his songs would be used for like a TikTok dance or something. You know what I mean? Like a trend.
I think if we get the right trend, like a little challenge in place or whatever. Yeah.
My French. I feel like, because like he has so many goofy songs that have funny ass lyrics in them, and like, or just the beats just so crazy that's exactly what TikToks eat up. They make it. There's a new trend that starts every 5 hours probably. It's like,
or even like the new song he just dropped, Tarzan. Like in the chorus, he's saying like let my nuts hang a few times, and he's also saying right on brother and shit like that. And I feel like for TikTok, the way the format is, sometimes it would be, really memeable and all that kind of shit. But yeah, we'll see. But no, we have a person who helps us with all our social media strategy and planning, and she's really been helping us to get into TikTok and stuff. So he doesn't do it directly, but he makes all the content, and they put it on there together. Yeah. Hell
Is
yeah.
there anything you'd like to add? Anyone you'd like to shout out before we cap off this interview?
Shit, man, just shout out to like our whole Stophouse team. We've been since about this time last year when we ended up bringing all of our business back in-house to Stophouse, and Prof went 100% independent again. We've been slowly building like a really, really dope team at our office, and they've been absolutely invaluable. We've been cranking out a shit ton of merchandise through our web store, doing a ton of like incredible content. I mean, it's a little weird for me to say because I've been working on it myself, but I'm really proud of what everybody's been doing and how much we've been producing and stuff. And that's like everybody from Prof and Dylan, myself working really hard, all the way down to folks who are just coming in occasionally to help out with music video shoots or filling web orders and stuff like that. So so shout out to our team. Yeah.
Same Z's.
Covered it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man, thank you very much for having us
thanks
on.
for
Dude, this
having
was
us.
super dope. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. I'm glad we could make it happen.
We'll definitely have to get Prof in here at some point in time.
Yeah.
I know you had Mac on.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you have Cash coming through, or you had him come through his
by the
episode.
time they're watching this, it would be out.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched that one yet, go watch that one. And go watch the Mac Irv one if you haven't watched that one yet either.
I would definitely recommend getting maybe the OG St. Paul Slim on, just because he probably has some really good stories.
I'm definitely open to like suggestions.
Okay,
too.
dope. Hell yeah.
Because like I like to talk to people that were around before I even started, because I get to learn. It helps me learn more too, like the history of it. So like I know what I'm talking about sometimes. I don't want to not know what I'm talking about.
Man, I would say, have you ever seen an interview with Tony Bones?
Oh man, that might get weird.
I would say if you could get a dope interview with Tony Bones.
Next time Meta Soda's here, you ever?
Oh yeah, Meta. Get a good Meta interview.
He was like the all-time best battle rapper in Minnesota ever in history, maybe. I think there's anyone.
I mean, maybe
Meta?
people might say Idea or something.
I'm pretty sure.
Told me about Idea.
Yeah.
Actually, I've
heard
seen
his name
both those
before.
guys in the same battle before, and Meta won.
Meta won. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, no, definitely have Meta on when he comes through. A lot of history there with Minnesota and just being a super talented cat. And he's somebody who's one song or one project away from blowing, but he's been dealing with family shit and stuff the last few years, so I don't think he's been quite as on the music shit. But yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Interview for one day. We'll be looking back at this after you've done probably 30 tours from now, and like, damn, remember when we were talking about all that shit?
Hell yeah.
Or we'll be trying to get on your next podcast. Like, remember us, man?
Hey, man.
No, you're welcome whenever. But yeah, subscribe, like, comment, all that. Pilot Life, Powderhorn Sweets.
Hey,
all that.
StophouseGroup.com. Hey,
subscribe.
Peace.